One of the key things taking a class from a traditional face-to-face to an online class, perhaps one of the difficulties, even in a blended format, is the communication and how that's going to be handled. Face-to-face kind of grows organically and based on some of the interpersonal relationships that are going on. Blended class, you don't necessarily have that opportunity. Trying to address that concern and trying to be upfront about that and providing that structure, at least at the outset of this class, the proposed blending, I prepared a communication plan. I think that's really vital to do as we're trying to take a class from its traditional holdings as a face-to-face orientation to a blended format. What we've seen here is my proposed communication plan. That's working in concert with the LMS that the Joliet Junior College is going to provide for this course. I've broken down our various communications in this document. The document I'm going to attach, of course, to this Prezi at the end, something you could review, but also something I'm going to provide my students so they can be pretty well advised about where they can find certain information, where those communication portals are going to be on the website, on the LMS. So what I've broken this down to is various divisions. It's going from announcements, the campus email system, big blue button, video forum that we can actually have synchronous conversations in the class, chat room, the discussion board. There's an area for group collaborations and assignments. I've also added in here at the end is a special arrangements. These are potential communication venues we'll have outside the LMS at Joliet Junior College. Rare occasions we might want to do that. Might want to also access some other web resources that are outside the LMS. And wanted to just briefly go over that, this video chat here, and talk about the different communications on one side, whether it be virtual office hours, course announcements, common concerns, instructor or student exchanges, student-to-student collaborations. Those are all communications, and I've designated areas where I think the best and most appropriate means of taking those communications are from. Take a look at this Word document. We'll go through this one real quick, and then I'll go actually into the LMS and do a little guided tutorial through there where we can find these various locations in that LMS. So that's the communications. I've also broken this down into the various assignments that are going to be done throughout the semester. Whether that's an application article, ask the instructor, a class presentation, some essential questions we'll be working on throughout the semester, homework problems, we'll be doing these intelligent games. That's an instance of something that'll be taken off site through that Quizlet portal. Video demonstrations, virtual labs, and weekly reports. We scroll back on up to the top, we can see that's going to correlate to one of the LMS sites that we have, the Joliet Junior College system. Lastly, I provide all the way down at the bottom of this document is two footnotes. One about announcements, what might be really good to put in those announcements. Done the same thing for campus email, the big blue button, which is an online real-time video conferencing, a chat room, be able to exchange information back and forth student to student, discussion board, group collaboration, assignments, and those special arrangements. Get each one of those categories and kind of a general discussion what my intent is and what the design of the class is going to be. Also helps remind the students what the most appropriate use of each one of those communication portals will be. Second footnote, bottom of this document is talking about developing some mastery in our communications and what we're going to talk about with the subjects. So kind of a broad, if you will, rubric of something that the students should aim for, something I should try and impress upon them as they develop in this class, develop from being an intermediate to practitioner to hopefully maybe some expert at this point in time in their careers. So guys, kind of a little general outline about how to advance our conversations and what those levels of proficiency are. So certainly that's something I welcome anybody to go through at the end of the Prezi, pull up the whole document. What I want to really do here is focus on our communications, scroll back to the top here, and where those various things, the announcements, campus email, big blue button, chat room, discussion board, group collaboration, assignments will be on that LMS, the Joliet Junior College. So let's scroll over that page. What I've got up here is the Joliet Junior Campus or College iCampus Canvas site. Got a generic course in here. It's actually the blank document for the AEC 102 class. You can see what I've got now is just a syllabus page pulled up. It's not completed yet, of course. The class isn't up online. However, what we can see over here on the left-hand side of the page are these various portals for communications. First and foremost, we have announcements. Click on that page. Again, there are no announcements to show, but that's the announcement page. We take care of some general concerns on that announcements, various information I want to push on out to the students about the class. Campus email system, not just contained in a single class, but it's up here in its inbox module. Click on that. I think I probably have some emails in there from other classes, but there's the campus email system, access right at the top of the LMS. I'll head back to our course here. AEC 102. Right. So we've covered the announcements. We've covered the inbox portal. The big blue button, that's actually in this idea of conferences. We click in there. New conference. And that point is where we're allowed to set up the big blue button, which is a live video conference. Students will be invited to join that. They'll be given a link to this page. Pretty seamless for them to connect into it, set up certain times and durations, and also a description of exactly what we'll do in that video conference for that session. We'll X out of that. Next, we got, of course, is a chat room. I've set the chat room, or will set up the chat room for something that's more student-to-student dialogue. The live chat, everybody's online. It could be taken up asynchronously too. So the chat room is not something I'm going to grade or be involved with directly. It's something I want the students to kind of do their informal collaboration on. Next one I've talked about is the discussion board. Discussions are right here on this link, discussions. This portal, as it gets filled in throughout the semester, and you look at the proposed outlining of the class and the course map that I've also provided, we'll set up these various discussions in this area for the students to exchange ideas, put their postings, respond back to other students. Next, the area that we're going to talk about and utilize in class are the collaborations. Again, there's a tab right down to collaboration. Whether that be a lab or a special project, they'll be set up in this collaboration tab. I'll assign the groups and students to those groups, and they can actually do their work in that area, that collaboration area. Last section in the LMS we're going to talk about are the assignments, and they are actually contained in that assignment tab. In that area, we'll actually see all their various assignments, those deliverables, if you will, that the students have to provide throughout the semester. Whether that be exams, projects, or various assignments given to them. Those will all be found in that assignment area. If we loop back real quick to the document, the communication plan, we do see that there's some special arrangements. Right now identified potentially by phone, and I said that's really for that instructor-student exchange. Oftentimes we'll want to take care of that on email. There might be situations where a phone call is the most appropriate means. So upon request, we can set up a phone conference one-on-one with a student if there's some real particular concerns. And again, said the only other plan to go off that LMS is to use this idea of the Quizlet site. Again, I think I detailed that pretty good in the lesson plans and in the course mapping. Basically, they're a modern version of flashcards with a lot of flexibility. Particularly attuned to, I think, material testing and some of those parameters we're going to talk about with specifications, construction industry. So I think they can be used very effectively, a nice outsource that we could take off the LMS and use for the students' learning engagement. Might in class use Twitter a little bit, but short of that, everything else is going to be contained on that Joliet Junior College learning management system. It's going to fall in one of those categories between announcements and assignments. Tip to tail should take care of everything on there. So again, hope this helps clarify a little bit the proposed communication plan, how we're going to try and blend that class, take those things that are traditional, face-to-face, and how can we put those on an online program and kind of develop that collaborative nature, that type of synergy we have between instructor and student, student to student, and effectively orchestrate this class, not just face-to-face, but also online. Thank you.